course. Delighted to welcome Lee Mottershead, Hector Crouch to the show. Welcome to you both. Hector, who could easily be winning the Oaks in 5 days' time on You Got To Me. How are you feeling?
Yeah, that'd be nice to be. It's nice to be in this position, and yeah, quite relaxed at the moment. Looking forward to it.
When I say that, you kind of smile in seeming disbelief. I believe.
I mean, it does. As we've seen in racing in the last couple of weeks, there's a lot goes on between winning your trial and getting to the classic. So hopefully, all goes well and we can be at the post on 4:30 on Friday.
And I quite like the way Rafe Beckett is playing Aidan O'Brien at his own game. Just completely carpet bombing this race. How many do you think he'll run?
That's a very good question. He's got some very talented fillies in there, and they're all owned by different people. So I imagine it'll be owners' prerogative whether they want to go there or not. But it's a hard thing to turn down the chance to run the classic.
Yeah, and he did say, Lee, earlier in this week, he might run 5. I thought that was fighting talk. I liked it.
Yeah, me too. And in a classic like this, why not? Because there is no one established superstar going into the contest. And we've seen from classics like, well, Epsom classics in particular in the past, you can suddenly get a horse who'd been relatively unheralded before, makes enormous improvement going over a mile and a half for the first time. So, yeah, I suspect, well, I'm only guessing, but I wonder if the King and Queen's filly Treasure will be kept back for the Ribblesdale, knowing partly how important the Royal Meeting is to the King and Queen and the Royal Racing setup. But I was saying to Hector before, and I quite like his rank outside of Seaward, who ran well to finish third at Chester. If the ground dries out for her, she could run a big race.
Quite a bit of rain knocking around this week, though, isn't there?
Yeah, we were just looking at the forecast. It doesn't look like it's going to be good to firm anyway. But if, like I said to Lee, if Seaward got her ground, she ran a blinder at Chester. She wasn't beaten very far, and she's improved a ton from that. I sat on her a couple of weeks ago, and she's done well. So yeah, I mean, he's got so many good options to go there, so it's exciting.
We had an exciting classic yesterday, took place in Ireland, the Irish 2000 Guineas. It was a 1-2 for trainer Richard Hannon, and in the order expected as well. Rosalien, the runner-up from Newmarket, beats the Newmarket third Hartem. Hartem, a fine ride from Jamie Spencer. Just for a second or two, you thought he might have it on the 25,000 Guinea son of Phoenix of Spain, but not to be. The beautifully bred Rosalien, settled and switched off beautifully by Sean Levy earlier, then came home with a rare rattle. I thought this was where he won it, Hector, getting the horse settled and covered, having broken really sharply.
Yeah, I think Sean was perhaps anticipating to break a little slower than he did. He's pretty sharp, Rosalien, and he did well in the first couple of furlongs just to slot in behind Ryan. He was just in danger here of being caught 3 wide, and then he's got him onto River Tiber's tail, and he's done very, very well. It's extremely hard to do.
The horse is naturally a fast horse, isn't he? Naturally exuberant, as you say, sharp into his stride.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the debate before he went to Newmarket was whether they were going to be coming back to the Commonwealth Cup with him. So, I mean, it's a brilliant bit of training and a fantastic ride from Sean. He rode the horse with immense confidence, and you know, he got the result.
As a rider, you must look at Jamie Spencer there sitting in third on Hartem and think, what a lovely horse that is to ride.
Yeah, he's unfortunately for Hartem, he appears to be in quite a good era of 3-year-old milers, because I mean he was a runaway Craven winner, ran a blinder in the Guineas and another blinder again just to be pipped by his stablemate, but he looks a jockey's dream.
River Tiber running through into third. Good run on his seasonal debut. What did you make of this, Lee?
I thought between the 2 and the 1 pole, I wondered whether Rosalien was going to pick up, and I thought for a while it looked as though Jamie Spencer had got the race won on Hartem, but then between the furlong pole and the line, Rosalien really came alive, and he's made up about 3 lengths in a relatively short space of time. I'm not sure he's had to run a better race than he did to finish second in the Guineas, but I think Hartem has definitely progressed. I think what's interesting is, after the 2000 Guineas, Richard Hannon's initial thought was, we'll let Hartem go to the Irish Guineas and we'll keep Rosalien back for the St James's Palace. I suspect the owners of Rosalien, Sheikh Mohammed Abeid, probably felt that that was too good an opportunity to miss. Bearing in mind there was no Ballydor Superstar going into the contest. But again, interesting, and we're going to speak to Richard soon. I thought his comments after the race, talking about how Hartem almost emerged with as much credit or more credit than the winner. I just wonder if there's any sense of, oh, that could have been Hartem's day, because Rosalien will probably have lots more Group 1 opportunities in the future. Hartem will as well, but you would imagine that Rosalien's room to progress through 2024 might be slightly greater than Hartem's.
Yeah, he's a serious stallion prospect, the winner now, as well, isn't he? By Blue Point, from that amazing family as well, the family of Ream 3.
Yeah, he's exceptionally well bred, and Group 1 winner at 2, and now a Group 1 winner at 3. It's a fantastic prospect for Sheikh Obeid. Staying
with the same age group, but dropping in distance, there was a Commonwealth Cup trial at Haydock Park yesterday, but this was also won by Sheikh Mohammed Obeid, a horse called Inisherin, who'd finished 6th in the Guineas, dropping back in distance, and like Rosalien, a grandson of the brilliant mare Ream 3. Be interesting to see where they go with him now. The only engagement this horse has got at Ascot is back over a mile. He lowered the colours, amongst others here, of Van Dijk, last season's champion sprinting juvenile. Van Dijk just a little fresh in the yellow and black colours in rear, yellow and black colours in front is Inisherin. Sprinter or miler, Hector, this horse?
I thought the ground probably made this a real stamina test. I wasn't at Haydock over the weekend, but just looking at the times and the images there, it looked drying, tacky ground, and I think probably stamina was the key to Inisherin's success here. Where you go with him here is a bit more of a question mark. Quick ground at Ascot over 6. He might not have the speed for that.
I thought he was a lovely horse going into the Guineas, Nick. I really liked his performance at Newcastle. He's run a super race at Newmarket, and we know that history tells us that Kevin Ryan is very good at recognising horses who could well become Group 1 class sprinters. So I thought that it was an interesting move in itself to bring him back in trip here. I do take on board Hector's point that maybe a quicker ground race at Ascot might not have been his favour, but the stiffer track, I imagine, certainly will be. And as for Van Dijk, I think you'd have to say he was disappointing. The fact he was under pressure, under strong pressure, just under 2 out, probably wasn't what we were hoping to see nor expecting to see. And while ground conditions wouldn't have been ideal for his first run of the season, I think it's hard not to say it was a bit underwhelming.
What do you think, Hector?
I'd agree with that. He looked exceptional last year as a 2-year-old. I agree, ground conditions wouldn't have been to his liking, but I think you'd have liked to have seen him finish off his race a bit better. Orne getting up and nabbing him for second was probably not the best form we should be hoping for a Commonwealth Cup trial.
Yeah, last year's 2-year-old form is taking an absolute battering, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's often the way, isn't it? You get to this time of year and you have horses who suddenly blossom that you hadn't really considered early in the year, and that's what we're getting.
A big day today for Opera Singer to uphold the 2-year-old filly's 2-year-old form last year. Yeah,
no, she was the 2-year-old filly from last season who most impressed me. I thought her Marcel Boussac performance was deeply impressive. But again, maybe Aidan is being overly cautious, but certainly the vibes or his commentary going into the race is very much, she's ready to start. That's the phrase he loves, isn't it? Ready to start, but she will improve for it. She's actually been left in the Oaks, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Which is interesting as well.
So from the 3-year-old sprinters, Inisherin leading home Van Dijk, to the older sprinters at Haydock Park yesterday in victory for Kurdos. Clive Cox has got quite a sure touch with this type of horse. Kurdos sprung a bit of a surprise in the hands of jockey Richard Kingscote. You'll spot this horse in the black colours breaking sharply, and probably helped Hector by the fact that he was drawn next to Live in the Dream, who has come back from his American trip looking every inch the sprinter he was last year. This was a terrific performance from him.
Yeah, he's run a cracker on his seasonal return. And I'd agree with you. I think Kurdos has had a tendency to over-race at times in his career, and he got a lovely toe into it, given a lovely ride, and Clive Cox is a very, very good trainer of sprinters, and he's been placed very well.
Now, the yellow colours on the left, just look to the outside of that horse, the pale blue sleeves. That's the Australian raider Asfoora, What did you make of her British debut, Lee? And can she take a hand in anything a bit better during the course of the season, or is this as good as she is?
No, I think she can take a hand. I think she is a little bit better than we saw here, Nick. She doesn't have the profile of some of the really outstanding Australian sprinters that have come to the Royal Meeting in the past. I don't think she's in that class, but she might not necessarily need to be in that class to land a blow if she can progress in this run.
And just looking further in behind, just keep your eye on Rogue Lightning in the red cap there. You think he's completely out of this, out with the washing, cost $1 million guineas to go to Wathnan Racing. Well, he finishes off the race strongly. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see a better performance from him at Royal Ascot. It looked as though he needed the run.